Yes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. If we can get it up on the screen here. Yeah, June 18th, 2024, the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. If you'd stand and join me in the pledge. Indivisible. Thank you. Any additions to the agenda?
I have none.
We'll consider the agenda approved. Now is constituent time. Is there anybody in the room that would like to address the board during the constituent time? Seeing none, is there anybody on the computer, Lindsay? Okay. We'll go ahead with the meeting. Next up is County Clerk Terry Stevenson.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have for the June 4th, 2024 of County Commissioners regular meeting. Are there any changes to these meetings?
I have
None here.
Outside the minutes for the June 10th Board of County Commission special meeting, are there any changes to or deletions? No.
I have not.
None.
Good.
Okay, I also have a board's your consideration of an application for a festival permit for Puesta del Sol Vineyards LLC, doing business as Alfred M. Sellers. The location of the event is at 39883 Matthews Lane in Paonia. The dates for these events will be July 31st, August 28th, and September 25th, 2024. The time will be from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. I received all necessary documentation and fees and
I think the board approved the festival permit for Alfred Ames Seller at 39883 Matthews Lane, Paonia for July 31, August 28, September 25, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Second the motion.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done. Thank you.
thank you for that. My next item is your consideration of changing the board's regular meeting from November 5th to November 6th due to the general election. And I'm also requesting that we generally close on a general election, motor vehicle in the vitals department on that day as well. We do utilize staff the entire day for general elections, so those are my requests.
Terry, would that be both the annex in Hotchkiss and here in Delta? Okay.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that.
You need me to make a motion.
Yeah. Well, I'll move that the board, move our regular meeting date from November 5th, 2024 to November 6th, 2024. And that we also close the motor vehicles and vitals record department on November 5th, so staff can be utilized for election. This will be at both the Delta courthouse and the annex facility.
Second.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, so done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good catch.
We'll continue with commissioner business. First on the agenda is board's consideration of a proclamation declaring the month of June Immigrant Heritage Month for Tri-County Health Network.
So in your packet and publicized then is the wording of the proclamation.
Mhm.
Move the board approve the proclamation declaring the month of June Immigrant Heritage Month.
I'll second.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 So done. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next up, we have board's consideration discussion regarding posting speed limit signs on Payne Siding Road.
Sheriff? Want to join us? I seen you trying to hide behind the corner over there.
I ordered this. No, I'm looking it up to the sheriff. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. So, the sheriff's office was tasked with doing a speed survey at Payne Siding Road, from the top of the mesa down to the highway. Deputy Ricky Granger went up and spent several hours up there, monitoring traffic, driving the road, and, I think you have a document that explains his concerns and suggested speed limits along Payne Siding.
And the suggested speed limit to be 45.
Correct, on most,
Well,
most of
except
the
for,
roads.
except
there
for
is
the
a-
hill,
Yeah.
the 30 miles on the hill and then a 15 mile an hour on the curve. So, the bottom of that hill, we kind of curves and bumps, we line of sight issues is 45.
Correct,
45 thinks the safe amount for that, even with some of those line of sight issues.
that's what Deputy Granger suggested, just the flow of traffic that he monitored and driving the road himself. He felt that it was safe at 45.
I don't know, obviously somebody could do it at 61 according to his
Yeah.
stops, so I mean.
There also used to be a 45 sign as you were coming down the hill and one after you came off the highway, but they are missing.
It's not posted at all right now.
Right now, there's nothing up. He did stop one person that he asked if they knew what the speed limit was and they had no idea. So people are driving the road just, I guess some of them are being prudent with their speed limits, but others are driving it probably too fast.
Okay. I think it's a pretty sound decision. I was just questioning the bottom of the hill there was my only concern. Everything else, I agree with Officer Granger on this. I just wanted to verify on the bottom of the hill that we felt that was the best practice, so.
That was his suggestion. If the board wanted to make that lower, you certainly could have that ability.
So drove it, and I think the line of sight is okay for.
Okay. 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 Well, then I will move that we replace the speed limit signs on Payne Siding Road and add some more. That we leave the top and the bottom of the hill at 45 miles an hour, that the hill be 30 miles an hour, and then we post a 15-mile-an-hour sign on the curve in the hill.
I'll second that.
A motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done.
Thank Officer Granger for this, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, next up, board's consideration of a resolution to add Archway Road, Vista Valley Major Subdivision Phase Number 4 to the road maintenance under the Delta County Road Maintenance Program. And we have Mr. McCracken with us.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
Morning.
As Mike mentioned, we're before you today is a resolution to add Archway Road to the road maintenance program. It's approximately 0.28 miles or 1,501 feet and 30.39 feet. The pavement was paved in April of 2022, and it's been it's required to sit for 2 years under warranty by the developer prior to accepting for maintenance. That time period has passed. I've inspected it in May of this year, and it meets the standards. And so I recommend adding that section of road to the road maintenance program. Any questions?
Do we check shoulders on these when we do that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and the shoulders were good?
Yep.
Down on the pass this down. Let's get pictures.
And all signs were, the street signs are not up, but the stop sign, there's a stop sign there at H and Archway.
Resolution for the street light.
Number 11.
Any other?
No, that was my only concern, just sometimes the shoulders settle pretty hard on these new
Yeah.
roads and then we leave issues on the shoulders, but.
It's Mel and Betsy Frazier for Frazier Development. They did do a little repair on a little portion of the shoulder that had been ran over by equipment.
Okay.
There's been 3 accesses installed on that this year, so there was a little minor improvement done to it, but
We'll move the board approve resolution number 2024 R11, a resolution to add Archway Road in the Vista Valley Major Subdivision Phase 4 to the road maintenance under the Delta County Road Maintenance Program.
Second the motion.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're done.
thank you.
You betcha. Thank you.
There, we've got a representative from our county health network here. If you'd like to
Oh, okay.
recognize her.
And we had a person just walk in from Tri-County Health Network. Did you
What?
have any?
Yeah, why don't you come on up here? We already adopted your resolution or proclamation. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. It's early in the morning here. So,
Well, good morning. Thank you for already doing that. Sorry, I missed it. I appreciate you making the proclamation and making Delta County a place where everybody can belong. In addition to that proclamation, we are putting on a festival this Saturday called Immigrant Heritage Festival, where we celebrate all the different backgrounds that make up Delta. We'd love to invite you. I'm gonna pass flyers each of y'all's way. Did you have any questions for me about the proclamation or anything?
no questions. It was,
Please remind us of your name.
Yep, my name is Kaisa Simon. I'm the health equity advocate for Tri-County Health Network here in Delta County.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate all the work that you do. I'm sure you see some hardship cases and a lot of stress and hard decisions probably made in that, and we appreciate the work that you do for that. And we've already, as you know, had the signed proclamation declaring the month of June Immigrant Heritage Month.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you for coming. Thank you. Okay. Now back to Commissioner business number 4. Board's consideration of a memorandum of agreement between Delta County and the town of Paonia for Grand Avenue in Paonia.
So the memorandum of agreement between Paonia and the county is for the Grand Avenue project. It's the construction project to fix that intersection in Paonia. This was a requirement from CDOT. I worked with John Allen and John Bear with this agreement, and this is what we've come up with. The county is responsible for the general maintenance of the pavement on Grand Avenue, including but not limited to striping and pothole repair. The county is also responsible for plowing snow to the center line of Grand Avenue, but not for the removal of the snow. The town is responsible for general maintenance of the sidewalks, utilities, owned or operated by the town, including but not limited to stormwater and water systems in place and any that may be installed in the future. They are also responsible for removing the snow that is piled along the center line. The town also has the right to enter the county right away for the purposes of removing existing improvements, constructing proposed improvements, and general maintenance of said improvements. This agreement went to the town on the 11th, so that would have been last Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's already signed by the mayor of Paonia.
Okay.
Any questions?
Is this just from Fourth Avenue North?
Yes.
That's already countywide. Guess it's a CDOT thing.
Yes, so it's county right away, county road for that portion. And the town is doing the project to repair that. You're very well aware of that, so. This was one of the requirements from CDOT. They wanted us to have an agreement.
After doing a trail,
I know.
I'm really, you really gonna question that?
Does the trail connect to this?
We can work on that. We can make that for you here.
We were to approve and authorize the chair to sign the memorandum of agreement between Delta County and the town of Paonia for Grand Avenue in Paonia, Colorado.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done.
But we got through that one quickly.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is board's consideration of a resolution declaring Delta County as a non-sanctuary county, setting priorities and expectations in response to the immigration influx.
Want this one done?
Sheriff, why don't you come on up here and join us? You've been part of this discussion here too. I know you're trying to hide behind the corner, but.
Got a feeling you were gonna say that.
I know. We, basically, the part that I wanted put in there, that we did get in there was the part about, we do have an issue with infrastructure. The part I wanted to make sure that we were very clear on is that, those that are here illegally and commit a crime in this county will not have refuge here because of their illegal status. They will not be given sanctuary if they commit a crime because they're here illegally. And that was the point that I wanted to make in this resolution more than any other, but.
I totally agree with you.
And again, Delta County supports legal immigration as we always have
Correct.
and always will.
And in the resolution also, the resources that are needed and who is going to pay for that. And it says also that the county will not open shelters or provide services other than emergency services. And if it's emergency, anybody would help anybody if they were legal or illegal. But we will help with the emergency services. And it's stated in the resolution to that effect. And this would be number 12.
When we do this one.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. I'm still, like I said, the one point that I've made from the beginning, we still don't have in there, and I'm a little. I'm still concerned by that, because in my opinion, that was the biggest issue that needed to be stated. But
I move the board approve resolution 2024 R12, a resolution declaring Delta County as a non-sanctuary county, setting priorities and expectations in response to immigration influx.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I, with reservation that we didn't get the part in about crimes committed in Delta County.
Aye. So done. And we have a copy of the resolution to sign. Okay, next on the agenda is to ratify the warrants.
I'll move that the board ratify the warrants from the various funds. Expenditures paid by warrant numbers 1512307 through 151-510, and ACH transactions 739 through 764 from May 1st, 2024 through May 31st, 2024, totaling $2,250,854.98 in accounts payable and $1,731,100.43 in monthly county human services and health department May 24 payroll items for budget and approved per Delta County policy.
Second.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, so done. Thank you. Next up, Lindsay, we'll go over our calendar.
Good morning, commissioners. Today, after this meeting at 3:30, there is a Board of Health here at 560 Dodge Street. Tomorrow, the Delta County Administrative Offices are closed in observance of Juneteenth. Wednesday, June 26th, there is a AG&C Montrose Board meeting that is from 1 to 5 p.m. Thursday and Friday, June 27th and 28th, the Jolt Energy Symposium in Montrose. Monday, July 1st, the Tri-County Lunch Meeting in Superior Junction, 11 to 1 p.m. Tuesday, July 2nd, we have another Board of County Commissioners regular scheduled meeting. That's from 8:30 to noon here at 560 Dodge Street. That evening on July 2nd, 6 to 8 p.m., there's a Republican Party meeting at Service Creek Church. Thursday, July 4th, Delta County Administrative Offices will be closed in observance of Independence Day. That day is also the Balloon Festival here in Delta. Friday and Saturday, the Balloon Festival continues. July 16th, that's Tuesday, will be our next Board of County Commissioners regular scheduled meeting, 560 Dodge. 1 to 3 p.m. that day, there's a UBWUA DMIP meeting number 4, virtual. 3:30 to 5 on July 16th, there's a Board of Health meeting here on 560 Dodge. Wednesday, July 17th, 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. AG&C Craig Board meeting. And then I have a hold for Open House Rogers Mesa Phase 1 in Hotchkiss from 3:30 to 6:30. Friday, July 6th, 6 to 8:30 will be our community barbecue to kick off the 2024 fair. Be at the Delta County Fairgrounds in Hotchkiss, and all are welcome to join us for a free barbecue that night. Meeting access,
Does that start?
6 p.m. And there'll be more information on our website. Somebody's already calling about it, there's website. Our website and our social media page for more information.
On June 22nd, this Saturday, is the Lincoln Day dinner. And, I'll be attending in Wendell.
I won't be there.
Okay.
Linda, you'll be there. Anything else?
You want to report on Adobe cleanup?
Yes, thank you. We had a wonderful Adobe cleanup day. Thank you to CHT Resources with now Delta Compost. We also had the BLM who was out there helping. We had our commissioners, a couple volunteers. We will have a press release for all the members, but it was an impressive your dump sites for clean. Over 24 trash bags, 3 large dumps that went to the landfill for proper disposal. Over 50 tires, so it was a smaller than usual group, but we got a lot done. So we hope to have another one in the fall, and we will have more information coming out about how you can volunteer for that cleanup. But the more we have, the more impact we can make. So watch for our press release, and will be good information in there. The more we share, the more we watch, the more impact we can make.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Times that well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Angles cool.
I have the sheriff's report here for Sunday, June 16th, 2024. Delta County Detention Facility Population Count Report. Male inmates, County Jail 28, female inmates, County Jail 8, male inmates, Department of Corrections 4, for a total of 40. Average daily inmate population for the week of 6/9/24 through 6/16/24 was 48.85. Next on the agenda is at 10 o'clock, planning will be in here, followed by human services. So if there's nothing else at this time, we will adjourn until 10 o'clock. Welcome back, everyone. It's 10 o'clock, and now we have planning. Just one item on the agenda today, and I'll turn it over to Brittany from the planning department.
Thank you, Karen. Share. So today we have PLN -128 Ballard, the 3D subdivision. This is to consider a four lot clustered subdivision of preliminary plat in the A20 zoning districts. It's a 52.11 acre parcel and will be subdivided into 4 lots in the A20 zoning district. The property is located on the east side of 2100 Road in Delta. The application is for a clustered subdivision, which is a preliminary plat. The application was presented to the Planning Commission on May 8th for a recommendation to your board. Lot 1 is currently a vacant lot. Lots 2 and 3 have an existing single-family residence, and Lot 4 is also vacant residential lot. However, a majority of this lot is being used for ag purposes. All proposed lots have a stewardship area that will be used and restricted to ag purposes. Access is existing from 2100 Road, lots 1, 2, and 3. Access is located at the northern boundary line of 2100 Road, and lot 4's access is located further south on 2100 Road. County engineering recommends that lots 1 and 2 share a driveway, as well as lots 3 and 4 share a driveway. This would allow the division to continue without building a road, which is required where 3 or more lots or parcels use the same access point. Lots 2 and 3 have a Tri-County water tap. Lot 1 has the ability to be served by Tri-County water. However, no tap has been purchased at this time. Lot 4 is not required to purchase a water tap at this time due to the stewardship area. Here you'll see the zoning map. It is zoned A20. The abutting properties have been zoned as well as A20, with acreages ranging in from 98.3 acres to 1.6 acres. Here's the vicinity map. The property is located approximately 3.37 miles easterly of the city of Delta. Here you'll see the preliminary plat. Access for each lot is illustrated by the black arrows. All access points are existing. However, records do not indicate that they have been permitted. County engineering will inspect each access prior to the final plat acceptance and issue access permits for each lot. Tri-County water taps are existing for lots 2 and 3. Road right-of-way dedication. 2100 Road is a collector road and requires 80 feet of right-of-way to be dedicated, so 40 feet on each side of the center line. As such, county engineering is requesting an additional 10 feet of road right-of-way dedication for 2100 Road. This request is not indicated on this plat at this time. The purple areas you see here on the plat indicate where each stewardship area lies within each lot. So like mentioned before, this application was presented to the Planning Commission on May 8th, 2024. The Planning Commission discussed items such as irrigation water, stewardship areas, and domestic water taps. After much discussion and deliberation, the Planning Commission made a motion to amend condition number 6 to state label water tap information for lots 1, 2, and 3 within the subject property on the final plat. With that, staff recommends conditions include the final plat shall be submitted within 12 months of the preliminary plat approval. All easements and encumbrance shall be illustrated on the plat. Existing roads conditions, including center line, to be shown on the final plat. Deeds to be recorded within the final plat. The inclusion of standard plat notes and mitigation fees for open space. With that, the Planning Commission recommends that your board adopt a resolution finding that PLN 23-128 complies with applicable standards for a preliminary plat and conditionally approve the 3D subdivision, a clustered 4-lot subdivision subject to conditions. That concludes my presentation, and Mr. Ballard is here.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Would you move up to the table here and make sure the microphone's on and Commissioner Coots had a prior commitment this day, so he is not present right now, but we still have a quorum. Mr. Ballard, thank you for coming. Do you feel comfortable with what is proposed and that's what
Yes.
you want? Okay. Okay.
Couple questions for you here. So this is This is the challenge of the stewardship area moving forward here. These are the things that we have been concerned about since we first developed the code. You know, that whole west side of that next to 2100 road is currently a hayfield, or is
Yes.
that- I'm just trying to go off of what the pictometry shows. It looks like a hayfield on that side. And that's gonna remain irrigated.
There will be irrigation with each lot, yes.
Okay, so is there gonna be deed restrictions on those to state that they have to maintain those as ag, or what are we doing for stewardship?
And that,
It was discussed at the PC. The PC asked if Mr. Ballard would be open to moving the stewardship areas to be all in one, stewardship area. Again, the PC was very confused about the whole stewardship area and how do they make someone stay in ag?
Well, and that's my point here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so, you know, we've got a minimal piece of ground that's gonna be irrigated. You're gonna put 2 driveways through it. So I'm not sure how well that's gonna
yeah,
be
and that,
irrigated up and down there. We're talking culverts and raised roads and stuff just to make that feasible. I mean, ideally, we don't want to break up the farm ground. That's part of, in our master plan, and part of what we developed with the code was to try to keep that farm ground intact. But I just question if stewardship area is the proper approach to
That's-
subdivision.
and that's kind of what we talked about on that front field, is we don't know that it's really feasible to be in the stewardship or labeled to a stewardship, I guess you would say.
But we did update the PC that you all would be revisiting stewardship and definition of that as we update the land use code.
Well, you know, our stewardship area was to ease the pain of a clustered subdivision. You know, a clustered subdivision is, you know, where we're trying to put a lot of smaller lots onto a big ag parcel, and we're trying to avoid disrupting that ag. And this, it feels like we're actually kind of doing the opposite here on this one.
So, on lots 2, 1 and 2. So county engineering is proposing that they use the top, so you can't really see it, here. But it's the top access where you look at where it says access for lots 1 and 2. They want them to share that. So currently the driveway goes above lot 1 and right down the side of where that stewardship is for lots 1 and 2. And then lots 3 and 4, the access for that is below the stewardship area and runs along that line for access for 3 and 4. So they're not cutting into that ag field. The accesses are already there. They're just proposing 1 and 2 use the same access that is already there, and 3 and 4 use the access that's on the bottom that's already there. So no new driveways are being proposed.
So we'd require an easement through lot 1
For lot 2.
or lot 2.
If you want to take that out.
My biggest concern here is that field's gonna be, it's gonna be gone.
Yes. I mean, I can't make anybody farm it.
No, you can't make it farm it, but, and then
No.
splitting it up into 3 slices.
Mhm.
with a single irrigation source at the top of it,
Mhm.
I mean, it's just, we're dooming it for failure, is kind of what's happening here. I mean, quite honestly, stewardship areas should be preserving the ag ground instead of busting it up. And once again, how do you hold a gun to somebody's head and tell them you have to farm this? I mean, I don't know. I mean, lot two, I don't know how much. See if I can just get a general. And you got 1 acre, one
Yeah.
acre of pasture per lot two.
Yeah.
I mean, you figure the amount of piping and ditching it's gonna take to make that 1 acre happen.
Mhm.
I just don't see it, I don't see that happening. Obviously, there'll have to be some type of a head gate structure.
Mm.
Post the head gate that's there feeding the property to feed each of these 3 lots. I just feel. I feel that we'd be better off keeping all that field with one of the lots versus breaking it up into 3, but it's not my property, I'm not.
So, Brittany, is there a, and I may have missed it, is there a condition by the PC that a stewardship plan be filed?
No.
I think,
I mean, that may,
I think
that
it-
may answer
yeah.
some of your questions, and I think that's probably something that land use code anticipates.
well, and that's, you know, it's part of the reason we revised what we had in there, because it was a bit conflicting, but I think if we remove the stewardship requirements, it would make this a lot simpler. I just wish there was a better way to keep that pasture intact. Is there a reason, was it just drawn that way just for ease, or was it drawn to add value to properties by having?
No, and all honesty, when I brought it in with that field being connected to the back. All one lot, and it was suggested to me that this is the way it should be broke up, so that's how I paid to have it all surveyed. When I originally brought it in, it was just the vacant land, and that triangle was the lots. And it was suggested to me by here that I include that field in them lots.
So you wanted to include it with lot 4 then?
Yes.
And
But
then you were gonna access all 3 lots from the top or from?
I could still access it from the top or the bottom. Cause so the top of it or the bottom of it, there's already an existing road.
Right.
And the top, there's an existing access already too. It just wasn't gravel access.
So if you,
But like I say, then I've already paid for all the surveying and everything for the way it is now.
because, I mean, according to my calculations, I mean, that would put that lot 3, if you did that, I mean, it would be just over an acre, so it'd still be a legal lot. I don't want to be a pain in the butt here, I really don't. But I truly feel that your first intuition on how to split the property was the correct way to go. And it's gonna be a lot less headaches down the road. For irrigation and everything. Mike, Robbie, thoughts?
Shared irrigation is always a headache, no matter how well you can plan it and everything. You get different lot owners, different personalities involved in the water seems like isn't always an issue. I think since he submitted the plan like it is here, even though looks like his first inclination was the best way to do it, or looked like the best way to do it, and then submitted it this way. I'm okay with it.
Something you'd be willing to, I know you've spent money, I don't think it would cost too much to have it reconfigured a little bit, if it was something. And I don't know what kind of time frame you're on to get this done.
I wanted it done a couple months ago. Cause I've been waiting for it to be done, but. So that's the biggest issue now is I'd have to start all over and.
So with that being said, would he have to go through the whole process again, send out it to referral agents?
I mean, I don't think you would, because if you're still, I mean, you send it out, it'd be the same number of lots. It'd be the same access as we talked about. So it'd be the same easement. You're not changing any of your easements. You're not changing anything like that. It would just be a reconfiguration of the lots. I think we could. I mean, this is a preliminary plat. This isn't the final plat. And we could approve this preliminary plat drawn up the way you had wanted it before. And like I said, we would still, I mean, nothing else has changed. There's still the same number of lots, still the same accesses, easements, irrigation standards, everything else still applies. It's just a matter of a shifting of those lot lines. So. I'm gonna, it's your property, sir. I'm gonna let you make the decision, and I'll go with whichever direction you wish to go.
I would prefer to leave it like this now, because my cousin is supposed to be buying lot 1, and so now that's the way it's all drawn up in the bank as soon as we get it approved. So not
just, yeah.
But so.
Resolution number 13.
Okay. I will move that the board adopt resolution number 2024-R-13, a resolution conditionally approving a preliminary plat PLN 23-128/Ballard to subdivide 52.11 acres into 4 lots in the A20 zoning district located on the east side of 2100 Road in Delta.
I'll step down and second that. Motion is second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Aye, so done. Okay.
So, I mean, I understand you're literally waiting on the approval to get it, the bank to loan out that.
Yes.
But I was gonna say there's possibility of a replat. And perhaps the county planning could work to make something easier on a replat if you wanted to replat that differently, make it work better.
Okay, I can see what they say, but
Okay.
okay. Okay, who do I need to talk to about accesses? Well, so Tim called me the other day and he approved the bottom one. So I just had to put gravel, so I need to go talk to him again. Is he in his office or do you know? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard.
Yeah, thank you.
And that is all for planning. Okay, human services is at 10:30. So we'll stand in recess until 10:30. Welcome back, 10:30. Now we have human services, Ann Galegas and her staff. Thank you very much.
Good morning. So we, of course, will always start with the financials. So Nicole has the payables report and then she will make her presentation.
Okay.
So just some highlights on the payables report this month is, there's been a lot of in-person trainings and conferences, so there's a lot of travel reimbursement that were paid out. The Haven House, TANF contract was also paid out in May.
Very good.
So you know those differences. Tatiana and I have looked at, some cost savings, so we found some with the cell phones, it's finally showing itself. And then also with our postage machine, we should be saving, about $8,000 a year, actually on the lease. And we'll be using the same postage machine as the rest of the county now. I don't know why we had our own one, but we fixed it. Are there any questions on the payable?
Travel reimbursement from Nicole Bennett, I just don't know.
There's a story behind that. I did not turn that paper in. Someone else did.
Yes, the functional and access needs conference we attended with Chris Stewart. And then also her and Tatiana attended the Cassell training. That was in Utah, actually, wasn't it?
And then our vehicle lease was also paid out last month too for the top deductible. So hopefully the travel expenditures will go down a little bit more, maybe now that we have reliable vehicles, more reliable vehicles for caseworkers and staff to use instead of their own.
Yes.
So in regards to the budget, we're supposed to be at 33. We're at 31.57. We're a little bit under, which is good, I think. We found a few things that weren't billed, so that should actually go, stay a little bit more down to the next couple months, because we'll be reimbursed some county funds for SAAs that I've submitted this month, and some billings that weren't done that are now done. So we'll get more money from the state, which is a good thing too. Do you have any questions on those?
Everything looks like we're kind of holding it steady, it looks like, so.
And then now SEP, I was kind of looking at the data and they were actually more expensive than what we were making from them. So now that we don't have them as an expenditure, we've been seeing it go up a little bit more than it had in past trend.
Yeah, when single entry point changed to that fee for service contract, that I think had a significant impact for not only our county, but several other counties, and just the way that that contract was built and billed, so.
Big counties were really struggling, weren't they?
Yeah, and I think, Mesa at one point, several years ago, when HICPUF renewed their contract, there was a point where they couldn't make it through discussions, and so they just gave it over to Rocky on their own, before even the RFP process went through. So I think counties, really, there's only 5 counties now that are operating a single entry point. So it's really becoming more of a Ray dominated and private industry dominated field. So
Is that better?
I think it's getting better. The issue I think that most single entry points are having is that they also went into a brand new case management system in July. And so it's having those same problems that say like CBMS does or Trails does. And so some of the ways that it interacts even with CBMS was causing some issues. And I think there was even a time they had to use paper forms because the system was down and the system needed an upgrade and things like that. So I think it's evening out, but I also think the hard part now is the transition, and they're still really in that transition phase of learning Rocky's new procedures, because the way single entry point operated through Delta County operates differently, so that when, for example, if someone needs to speak to a case manager, Rocky has a dedicated line to speak to that individual, but it doesn't go to the individual, right? It goes to the group, and then they're trying to play piggyback a little bit. So Michelle Winey's actually working on that in the community, just trying to make sure those numbers are getting out there. And then actually we're going to have a meeting with them and bring them down to our building and do a lunch with all of our long-term care staff as well, to just update and keep ourselves together so that we know what expectations are needed from us and then what we need from them to continue to streamline services. So that'll be after Lori gets back from vacation. Yeah.
And then the southwest smaller counties, we restarted our regional financial human services group. So we had our first in-person meeting last week at Mesa County, and I've already taken so many notes on things and who I have to call with the questions. So it was very helpful, and even some state people came down, and we were able to ask questions more on a smaller scale that we weren't able to do at like the larger conferences. So I was really excited about it.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
that group had not been together for several years. And so what some of these counties found that were small and medium, when you go down that person and you're one down, it's significant to know all of the codes in CBMS or CFMS. It's important to know all of the codes that you're billing to, the right numbers, what your cost pools are. I mean, all those things are pretty significant. And when you lose someone, and so you don't even bill to the state for 3 months because you don't have anyone,
Right.
that's really scary for small and medium counties. And so I think I'm excited to have that group there, because it just continues to make us as a Southwest directors group also just stronger, being able to lend each other when we need it. But
And I was able to answer a question, which I was surprised. I'm very new. So I was like, oh, I know the answer to that one. They did say there that the allocation letters for next year there's no date on when those will come out, but they are working on it. That was the mistake and that came to our meeting.
any other questions there? Next part, real quick, Lori's gonna talk a little bit about childcare and the CCAP program. But I also wanted to actually, why don't you go and do that first, and I'll talk about the other things. I talk more.
So the CCAP program, the Colorado Child Care Assistance Program, last July 1st of 2022, they had increased the federal poverty levels, the percentages for people to be eligible for the program temporarily. And so as of July 1 of this year, they're actually reducing those back down to what counties had originally had before. So ours was at 200%, or originally it was 185%. They increased it to 200%. We're going back down to 185% as of July 1. What we've seen, even with the 200%, as far as when UPK came out, a lot of those families that hadn't applied for CCAP before are now applying because of the UPK funding. But a lot of them are over the income guidelines. So I had talked to Annie about possibly increasing the income guidelines even higher than the 200%, possibly 225. Our allocation for CCAP, we've always been underspent, a large amount underspent. And so I think I don't have any concern with the allocation part of it. I just don't know what that's going to look like for July 1. So hopefully next month, when we present again, we'll have a better idea of what allocations look like and whether or not we can do that 225% increase to serve more families. Yeah, there's another round of UPK eligibility starting in July. And so that's when we'll probably see another spike in applications coming through. So if we can get something going at least by August, we might be able to serve more families.
And UPK stands for?
Universal preschool and kindergarten, right?
So that was an initiative, a state initiative that came, I think they started working on it about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I think it came into effect. And so we've seen some counties, we've seen that it has drastically affected their allocation when they are usually spending most of their allocation. But for the counties like us, we don't spend a lot of ours because we don't have a lot of providers. And so it opened up the ability for more families to get services through both programs. And so we're hoping to continue to serve more families because that's been something kind of a drought of childcare providers for us. So we're hoping there'll be some incentives in there too. So. Good. So ineligibility, there's two other things I wanted to bring up, which was our Medicaid incentives. So we get Medicaid incentive money every year, and usually we would be sending out our last report. This year it was a customer satisfaction survey. And so we presented that a little bit along the way of what those numbers have looked like when people from the community have filled that out about timeliness, respectfulness, and would they, I think the other one is was there missing anything? Something about like if you're missing, did you not get all the services you need or something like that? So it's tracking all of those things. We will earn our incentives, but the state is late on what that template report will look like and the new contract. So they've kind of bumped us about a month and a half out. So we'll see a little bit of delay in that funding as well, just because they didn't have their contracts approved yet. And then I was going to remind you about the meeting on Thursday, that you're going. So there you go. Okay, and then we will, as a part of child welfare with Lynette, I will start initially with the Chafee contract. So this contract was attached in the packet. We've been contracting with CASA for our Chafee services for about 10 years now at this point. We continue to utilize them for our individual youth, but also they can serve youth that's not attached to child welfare. So they can serve individuals in the community that need that support past the age of 18 and work on life skills, budgeting, things like that, and grow towards self-sufficiency. Anything you want to add? Chafee contract?
Just that we're looking at kind of shoring up what that process looks like for our youth aging out of foster care, so that we're making sure that they're really getting the intensive life skills that youth in foster care need when they get out on their own.
Okay. Well, I'll move that the board approve the Chafee contract between Delta County, State of Colorado for the performance period of October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025, and authorize the chairman to sign.
I'll step down and second that. Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done.
Thank you. So anything you want to add about child welfare adult protection?
Absolutely. The month of May was a rather stressful time for some of our caseworkers. We had a slight uptick in referrals that met criteria for assessment. And we also had youth that we believed very strongly met the level of treatment need for a residential program. And our AIA process did not approve that and recommended services that are not available in the area. And we actually partnered with the courts to get those overturned so we could place those youth where they needed to be. But it caused a lot of extra work and tough discussions along the way. And
How many kids involved?
Hmm?
How many kids involved?
That was 3 in May. Yeah. And the youth are doing well in placement. That's the great news. But it does cost an extra $133 a day for treatment because the IA was denied, so Medicaid won't pay the treatment. So that gets added to the placement cost, which we still get the 20/80 split. And we have two workers. Well, when I wrote this, they were still in the training academy. One is now certified and one will be done in 2 weeks, which is really good. We also just did interviews and we are fully staffed.
Oh, good.
Mark that on the calendar.
It's only happened once for like 5 minutes.
And adult protection had a busy month as well. More of our cases, just the same in child welfare, more emergent in needs and crisis at the time. Staff have done an amazing job stepping up to the plate, and meeting those needs. Fortunately, we still have quite a bit of EHA funds to be able to support with some hard services and clothing and ramps for their homes. We still have 2.5 FTEs in adult protection, although our 0.5 is carrying quite a bit of a child welfare caseload at the time. If we did not get our purple ribbons up by June 15th, we had workers out sick, but we will be hanging purple ribbons on the trees this week for Elder Abuse Month.
And I think the last thing I wanted to capture was, thank you to the board, sheriff's department, Scott Sheets, county attorney, working through all those processes for those vehicles. They are beautiful. We are so grateful for them. They've already been utilized by several human services staff, not just child welfare, for attending trainings and in-person and conferences and things. So I think we just want to say a big thank you to everybody for that, because that was a lot, and we appreciate all the work you put in to support us. So. But that's all I have for this month.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a great rest of the week.
You too.
Thank you, you too. And the wind's not gonna blow anymore. Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks again. There's nothing left on the agenda, so we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.